designer based in London. We have a studio there designing furniture, products and interiors. I think the idea of there being, I think you have to create the desire. That's the trick, and that comes from a sense of community and a sense of belonging, and actually a sense of pride in where you live, and the idea of a sustainability that benefits the city. And in that sense, I think a bus, yes, it could be. I mean, if it's a well-designed bus and people care about it and people look after it and people use it, more importantly, then why not? Yeah. I think anything in the public eye, or to keep sustainability at the forefront of day-to-day life, is the only way to keep it interesting and sexy. And whether you say that's because, or whether there's a way that it can be incorporated into daily life or television, I mean, that's people's day-to-day reality, and that's what makes it interesting for them. In terms of making it, it's a really difficult question, this one. I think it goes back to the thing of having pride in where you live and your surrounding environment. I think the priority there, in a way, is a sense of community, and also then, in that sense, also a sense of belonging, that you have, that everybody affects where you live, be it in the fact that you keep the place tidy, in the fact that you look after where you are. It's that sort of almost wanting a better life. I think by their very nature, I mean, your surroundings will bring out the best and the worst in you. Whether it makes you angry that people don't look after the place where you live, the fact that not everybody recycles. I mean, in the UK, there's no, it's not compulsory to recycle, like it is in lots of other cities. And there's been financial benefits, if you like, and there's also been penalties. But that's not necessarily, I think, necessarily the right way of going about it. And it's that sense of community. And it's very difficult because obviously all my answers are London based. So I mean, we have a very, very rich cultural life, in the sense that it's a very sort of eclectic city, and for that reason, yeah, I mean, I guess they do have that sort of sustainability element to them, but that's born from other cultures that have influenced London, I think. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, I mean, that's obviously going into the history of a city and how that city's born, how that city's changed. I mean, the skyline in London has changed dramatically over the last 5, 6 years, to the extent where there's parts of the city almost unrecognisable from before. I don't think that they necessarily need segregating. I think they're all part and parcel of the same thing. I mean, some of that's born out of the idea of flexibility and how you work, but I don't see them as being segregated. I see them as being one and the same thing. I mean, from an idealistic point of view, you would say, I mean, as a designer, I design not for everybody. It's not for single person. It's not for one person to take home and they sort of adore it and nobody else gets to see it. It's very much about sort of practical, functional, daily objects that enhance life, I think. I mean, specifically talking from London's point of view, I think we definitely have the opportunity to utilise what we have. So, for example, with the Thames, we have tidal power. wind power in some of the sort of like more northern parts of London where it's much higher. I think what would be quite interesting is if buildings actually took on their own responsibility for their power, especially in new architecture. That each building, whether it be wind generated or solar generated, they could actually take on that responsibility of producing their own power to run that building.